Anyone interested in reading?
Yes.
Yeah, please go ahead. You are able to view my screen?
Yes, yes.
So please begin.
Just a minute.
So today we are starting with chapter 5, Releasing the Past. Sakina, you'll go next. I'll start reading now.
Yes, yes.
I'll start reading
Actually,
and then you can join me. Yeah, okay.
okay.
Yeah, chapter 5, Releasing the Past. Throughout the course of our lives, we will routinely go through a process of self reinvention. Over time, we are meant to change and we are designed to evolve. Our bodies show us this is as we eliminate and replace cells to the point that some argue we are essentially completely made new again every 7 years. Our mental and emotional growth follow a similar process, though it tends to occur much more often. It makes sense then that some of our most profound suffering comes from resistance to this natural process. We are in pain because though we must change our lives, we are holding on to baggage and debris from the past. As we carry unresolved emotions from day to day, we gradually move our past trauma into our future lives. Releasing the past is a process and a practice, one that we have to learn. This is where we begin. How to start letting go. You cannot force yourself to let go, no matter how much you know you want to. Right now, you are being called to release your old self, your prior afflictions, past relationships, and all of the guilt from the time you spent denying yourself what you really wanted and needed out of life. Recovering from self sabotage always necessitates a process of letting go. However, you cannot force something out of your brain space, no matter how much you don't want it to be there. You cannot simply loosen your grip, relax a little, and will yourself to stop thinking entirely about something around which your entire world used to orbit. This is not how it goes. You are not going to let go the moment someone tells you to move on. The day you realize you have to admit certain defeat, the heart dropping second it occurs to you that hope is indeed futile. You do not let go by simply willing yourself not to care anymore. This is something that people who have never been really hung up on something would assume. This is something that people who have never been deeply attached to something for a sense of safety and security and love and their future believe. There is nothing wrong with you because you almost get angry when people tell you to just let go so nonchalantly as though they couldn't fathom the storms in your head and heart. How can you become so passive about something you have spent so much of your time in your life actively working to maintain and then restore? You can't and you don't. You start to let go on the day you take one step toward building a new life, and then let yourself lie in bed and stare at the ceiling and cry for as many hours as you need. You start to let go on the day you realize that you cannot continue to revolve around a missing gap in your life, and going on as you were before will simply not be an option. You start to let go at the moment you realize that this is the impetus, this is the catalyst, this is the moment the movies are made about, and the books are written around, and songs are inspired by. This is the moment you realize that you will never find peace standing in the ruins of what you used to be. You can only move on if you start building something new. You let go when you build a new life so impressive and engaging and exciting, you slowly over time forget about the past. When we try to force ourselves to let go of something, we grip onto it tighter and harder and more passionately than ever before. It's like if someone tells you to not think of a white elephant, that's the only thing you'll be able to focus on. Our hearts work the same way as our minds in this regard. As long as we are telling ourselves that we must let go, the more deeply we feel attached. So don't tell yourself to let go. Instead, tell yourself that you can cry for as long as you need, that you can fall to pieces and be a mess and let your life collapse and crumble. Tell yourself that you can let your foundation fall through. What you will realize is that you are still standing. What you build in the wake and the aftermath of loss will be so profound, so stunning, you will realize that maybe the loss was part of the plan. Maybe it awakened a part of you that would have remained dormant had you not been pushed the way you were. If you are certain that you cannot let go of what is hurting you, then don't. But take one step today and another tomorrow to rebuild a new life for yourself piece by piece, day by day. Because sooner or later, you are going to go an hour and realize you didn't think about them or it. Then a day, then a week, and then years and swaths of your life drift by, and everything you thought would break you becomes a distant memory, something you look back at and smile. Everything you lose becomes something you are profoundly grateful for. With time, you see that it was not the path, it was what was standing in your way. Sakina, would you like to read from here?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you. Carry on.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. The psychological trick to release old experiences. Just because an experience has ended doesn't mean it's over. We store unfinished and unresolved emotional experience within our bodies. Cognitively, we often find that we are stunned by the time in our lives in which we were damaged or traumatized. We got scared. We never got over the fear, and as a result, we stopped growing. Often, what we don't realize is that the experience that hurt us most aren't usually the ones that we are indifferent about. There is something within them that we deeply wanted or still desire. We weren't broken by a breakup. We were broken by wanting love that wasn't right for us. We weren't devastated by a loss. We were devastated because we wanted so badly for that person or thing to remain in our lives. We mentally become trapped in these places from which we still crave an experience. What we don't realize is that we have to sort of free ourselves from it so that we can go forth and create it in real time. Instead of accepting the ways we think life did not work out, we have to be able to see what was at the core of our desire and figure out a way to still give ourselves that experience now. If you truly want to let go of a past experience, you have to re-enter it through your memory. Close your eyes and find the feeling in your body that is uncomfortable. This is your portal to its root. Follow the feeling and ask it to show you where it started. You will remember a time, place, or experience. Sometimes the memory is fresh enough that you don't need to do this, and you can simply re-tear the memory by imagining that you are back where it all began. Now, what you have to do is to super sup- superimpose a narrative to your younger self. You need to imagine that you, your healed and happy older self, is imparting some wisdom. Imagine sitting next to your younger self as they got their heart broken and giving them very specific instructions about why this is absolutely for the best. And although they cannot know it yet, there is another relationship out there that is far, far better. Imagine sitting next to your younger self when they felt really down and giving them the exact instructions regarding what they need to do to feel better, who they need to call, where they need to go, what they need to begin doing, and what they need to stop doing. Most importantly, imagine telling your younger self that absolutely everything, yes, everything is going to be okay, that their fears are largely unfounded, that good things are coming, and that life will turn out well in the end. You have to do this to release the old attachment and allow that part of yourself to reattach to the present moment and what exists within it. Though you cannot change what happened in the past by shifting your perspective of it, you can change how you are right now. You can change the story and you can change your life. You can stop holding on to the old life in which you were required to be someone you inherently are not. The truth is that when we are unhealthily attached to something in the past, our perspective of it is often distorted. We aren't seeing reality for what it was, and we need to assist ourselves in being able to broaden our mindset and open up to the truth. Instead of longing for what we didn't get then, we have to release ourselves from the past and start putting our energy into building that experience right now. When we do this, we become free to step into the field of infinite potential. We become free to be who we always wanted, to create what we always wanted, and to have what we always wanted. The time is now, and the place is here. Ruminating over the past doesn't mean you want to return to it. Not being able to forget what happened doesn't mean you are content to keep reliving it again and again, even though right now you very much are. The wildest thing about life is how unassumingly it keeps moving. You lost the person closest to you, and the world affords you a few days of grieving, and then you are expected to just keep going. You go through something so life shifting, mind alerting, and deeply traumatic then find that society only has a small bandwidth for tolerating your fear. Here is what you are allowed. You are okay to cry, and you are forgiven for being sad or canceling a few plans here and there. You are permitted a few days off and work and someone to listen to you went a handful of times. But processing and accepting the gravity of something that touched every last inch of you is not something you can do on a mental health day. It's not something the world affords you enough time for. And so you watch the job, you carry on. One day you wake up and discover that by every identifiable measure you have moved on. You are so many miles from where you started. You can't even remember it clearly. What you are understanding is the fact that though you can leave a place or a person or a situation, you can't leave yourself. Why would it ever come as a surprise that you keep thinking about the past? You weren't given the opportunity to shine a light on on that particular darkness and deem it okay. You weren't given much of anything at all. When your mind is stuck in the past, it isn't because it wants to return there. It because you were impacted far more deeply than you ever realized. And the aftershocks are still rippling through you. They surface as thoughts here and there. But under the surface is a deep echo that has the power to place you right back where you were as though you were never left. You can leave the country, get remarried, build a whole new career, date 12 other people, find an entirely new friend group, feel happier and more fulfilled than ever, and still grieve for what your younger self went through. Even though you are different on the outside, that part of you still very much exists within. That younger self doesn't just want you to keep walking, it wants you to turn around and acknowledge it. You will with time. You are not wrong or broken for feeling the way that you do. You responded to your circumstances as any healthy person would have. If anyone else was in your shoes, they would have reacted the exact same way. They would feel the exact same way. You were a healthy person who went through something traumatic and responded accordingly. You are someone who moved on because they had to, but who wasn't sick enough to associate entirely from the past. The fact that you can still recall what happened is a single signal that you are healthier than you think, more willing to heal than you realize, and more forgiving than you ever imagined you could be. Everything that's haunted you is rising in your consciousness. So you can see it and bow out with grace. You are not the person you were, even if all those pieces are still very much a part of you. You are not broken for being in pain. You are seeing yourself out of it. Anyone wants to read?
Yeah, Deepa, you want to go ahead?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Sakina.
Yeah, 1 second. Just 1 second. One second, just Yeah, we are reading the next section, right? Letting go of unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
It is not that brave to say you love your body only after you have contoured it to be precisely what you want it to look like. It is not that brave to say you don't care about possessions when you have access to everything in the world. It is not that brave to say you aren't motivated by money when you have enough of it. When you only find happiness and peace after you have fixed every flaw, mastered every challenge, and are living decidedly in the after part of the picture of your life. You have not resolved anything. You have only reinforced the idea that you cannot be okay until everything is perfect. The truth is that you do not change your life when you fix every piece and call that healing. You change your life when you start showing up exactly as you are. You change your life when you become comfortable with being here, even if you want to go forward. You change your life when you can love yourself even though you don't look exactly the way you want to. You change your life when you're principled about money and love and relationships. When you treat strangers as well as you do your CEO, and when you manage $1,000 the same way you would $10,000. You change your life when you start doing the truly scary thing, which is showing up exactly as you are. Most of the problems that exist in our lives are distractions from the real problem, which is that we are not comfortable in the present moment as we are here and now. So, we must heal that first. We must address that initially because everything else builds from it. You must be brave and confront your discomfort. Sit with it, even if it churns our stomachs and pinches our faces and makes us certain we will never find a way out. We will. We must listen to what's wrong, feel it, move through it, allow it to be. The truth is that this discomfort is a true problem, and we are running around trying to fix one thing after another because those are all just symptoms. If we become okay with money, we are on to our bodies. If we are okay with our bodies, we are on to our relationships. Once we master all the things we care about, we start at the beginning. We try to solve a problem that is any problem but the actual problem at hand. When you start showing up exactly as you are, you start radically changing your life. You start receiving authentic love. You start receiving authentic support. You start doing your best and most profitable and effortless work. You start laughing and you start enjoying things again. You start realizing that you just needed anything to project all this fear onto. So you choose the most vulnerable and common issues in life. When you start showing up exactly as you are, you cut the bullshit. You declare to the world you will not only love yourself when it sees you as worthy, you will not only have values when you have everything you could ever need. You will need not only be principled once you get where you want to be. You will not only be happy when someone loves you. When you show up as you are, you disrupt that pattern. The goodness of life is no longer reserved for some version of you that you'll probably never be. This was always a game for you to explain to yourself why it is you didn't feel good naturally, because You knew how to start showing up and allowing your feelings. When you still lived in the darkness, you had to suppress that and project it onto other issues. No longer. You're showing up as you are today and taking what's yours, not what belongs to some imaginary version of yourself, not what you think the world thinks you're worthy of. You, here, now. That is the true healing. In fact, the universe does not allow perfection. Without breaks and gaps, there would be no growth. Nature depends on imperfection. Fault lines like mountains, star impositions become supernovas, and the death of one season creates the rebirth of the next. You are not here to live up to the exact expectation you have mustered up in your head. You are not here to do everything precisely right and precisely on time. To do so would require stripping your life of spontaneity, curiosity, and awe. Thank you. Would anyone like to take over?
Mansi, you had put your name?
Yeah. If anyone else wants to read, I'm okay. Otherwise, I can read. Anyone wants to read?
Rajkumar
Yeah, I
ji
would
wants
like to read.
Yeah. So please go ahead.
Okay, go on, sir.
What leaves the path is clearing the path. There is nothing that you can do to win someone or something that is not meant to be yours. You can fight with everything you have. You can hold on for as long as you can. You can force yourself into mental gymnastics to pick apart science. You can have your friends read into texts and emails. You can decide that you know what is best for you and right for you. Mostly, you can wait. You can wait forever. What is not right for you will never remain in your life. There is no job, person, or city that you can force to be right for you. If it is not, though, you can pretend for a while. You can play games with yourself. You can justify and make ultimatums. You can say you will try just a little longer and you can make excuses for why things are not working out, working out right now. The truth is that what is right for you will come to you and stay with you and won't stray from you for long. The truth is that when something is right for you, it brings you clarity, and when something is wrong for you, it brings you confusion. You get stuck when you try to make something that is wrong for you right, when you try to force it into a place in your life in which it does not belong, you get split. You breed this internal conflict which you cannot resolve. The more it intensifies, the more you mistake it for passion. How could you ever feel so strongly about something that is not right? You can because you can use your mind to get a taste. You can fall in love with potential as opposed to reality. You can orchestrate and choreograph dances of how you will live out your days when things finally settle into their rightful place. You can hinge on a fantasy life in which everything you think you want has taken root in your everyday life. But if it is not showing up, it is just that, a fantasy. And when we start to deeply believe in an illusion, it becomes a delusion. And a delusion can be a really compelling thing. Give me a second, please. Give me a second. The truth is that what is not right for you will never remain with you. Though you might want to pretend that you don't know if this is the case, you do. You can feel it. It is why you have to grip so hard and with so little give. The things that are right for you can be free from you. You don't have to convince them that they are right. You don't have to line up the evidence as though you are pleading your case. Sometimes we get lost in old dreams. We get lost in the lives others wanted us to have. We get stuck on what we thought we should be, what we assumed we would have. We get derailed by all the ideas floating around our heads about what it could be and should be. If only things were different, if only everything would click. That is why life gives us this kind of insurance. Sometimes it pulls away from us what is wrong for us, and when we are not willing to see it for ourselves. Because the truth is that we do not want what is not right for us, we are simply attached to it. We are simply afraid. We are simply stuck in the assumption that nothing better will replace it, that its absence will open up a well of endless, infinite suffering for which there will be no solution. We do not want what is not right for us. We are just scared to let go of what we believe will make us secure. The funny part is, there is nothing that makes us more insecure than hanging around what is not right for us. There is nothing that will collapse faster. There is nothing that will bring us inner turmoil quite like it. What is not right for you will never remain in your life, and not because there are forces beyond us navigating the minutiae of our everyday lives. What is not right for you will not remain with you because deep down you know it is not right. You are the one who eventually lets go, sees reality, and walks away. You are the one resisting, you are the one holding back, you are the one concocting healing fantasies about how great it will be when you force something wrong to finally be right. What is not right for you does not remain with you because you don't want it, and so you don't choose it. You step away when you are ready, you let go when you are able, and you realize all along that all you were really in love with was a little trick of the light that made you feel safe. Thank you. Anyone would like to read Recovering from?
Ramya would like to read.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank
please
you.
go ahead.
Good afternoon to everyone. Recovering from emotional trauma. You might think trauma is in your head. It's a metaphorical sense. It is actually in your body in the literal sense. Trauma is what happens when something scares you and you do not get over that fear. If you do not resolve or defeat it, you get into and remain in a sustained state of fight or flight. State of fight or flight, which is essentially the human panic response for survival. Trauma is the experience of disconnecting from fundamental feeling of safety. Unless you are able to re-establish that connection, a particularly destructive bias distorts your worldview. You become hypersensitive, which means that you will ascribe intent, overthink, overreact, become triggered by innocuous stimuli, personalize neutral situations, and remain in a mental combat mode. After experiencing trauma, your brain will rewire itself temporarily to seek out the potential threat in anything, which makes it very difficult to both move on from the initial problem and then not to develop a victim complex. After all, your brain is literally trying to show you every imaginable way the world could be out to get you. This is why exposure is so effective as a treatment for fear or anxiety. By gradually reintroducing the stressor into someone's life and showing them that they are able to handle it, the brain is able to return to a neutral state because a feeling of control and security is being reestablished. This is also why people who have stronger social ties and mental resilience prior to a traumatic event are more likely to use the event as a catalyst for self-reflection, growth, compassion, and healing as opposed to self-destruction. They had multiple ties to that essential feeling of safety. So even if one was eroded or severed, others still were there to support them. What happens to your brain after a traumatic event? Neurologically, we process stress in three parts of the brain. The first is the amygdala. The second is hippocampus, and the third is the prefrontal cortex. Individuals suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder have a smaller hippocampus, the center of emotion and memory. Increased amygdala, sorry, I couldn't pronounce that word. Amygdala.
Amygdala. Yeah, amygdala. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Function. The center of rumination and creativity, and decreased medial prefrontal anterior cingulate function, the center that governs complex behavior like planning and self-development. It becomes clear then why trauma tends to have the following impact on us. Our brains stop processing memory fully, leaving us with fragments of what happened, sometimes contributing to the feeling of disassociation. Our ability to manage a range of emotion decreases. We become stifled and stuck, have trouble planning for the future, and our self-development and actualization come to a halt. When we enter a stage of fight or flight, our body literally chases any advanced function that is not necessary for our survival. The body's main receptors become extremely sensitive and reactive to stimuli. This is a beautiful and essential part of being human. It's kept us alive as a species. However, it is not a state that is meant to be sustained. Centuries ago, when we were at the lower rung of actualization or the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy, what concerned us most was physical survival. Today, our focus is primarily on self-actualization and meaningfulness and trying to feel safe through social acceptance, money, or mental acuity. With all of this gray area, it seems obvious that more people would be mentally and emotionally struggling than they did prior, despite having more physical challenges to overcome. Recovery comes down to something very simple, which is resorting the feeling of one's safety. However, the most important part of this restoration is that you must re-establish a feeling of safety in the exact area of life that traumatized you. Often, if someone is traumatized by a relationship they had when they were young, they will reinvest that energy into valuing being attractive or successful. To them, they believe that if they are good enough, they can never be denied or rejected again. However, we all know this is not how this works. It actually makes us happy. It actually makes us have unhealthy and destructive attachments to these things. If we are traumatized by a relationship, we restore the feeling of safety by working on other healthy, safe relationships. If we are traumatized by money, we restore the feeling of safety by doing what we must to ensure we have enough and by saving for an emergency expense. If we are traumatized by job loss, we restore the feeling of safety by having a backup plan or a side gate in line in case it were to happen again. If we are traumatized by being bullied, we restore the feeling of safety by finding new friends. What most people try to do is overcompensate in an area of life that is not the real problem. For example, if they struggled in relationship, they hoard money to keep themselves feeling safe. Of course, this is always futile because the problem never gets solved. Your trauma is not in your head. It is literally a changed state in your brain, and the only way you will help your body to return to its actual state is by recreating the feeling of safety that allows you to turn off survival mode and return to normal life. Anybody wants to continue? I'll stop here. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramya. We'll stop here today and reflect back on what we read so far, what we could better understand, what we could connect to. Yeah, please share.
If no one has anything to share, then I can share my experience.
Please.
Yeah. So it was a wonderful read for me. I could not join from 2:30 to 2:45 as I had some other call in the office, but I could just resonate so much with the past experience and letting it go. Okay, we all have, I'll share about myself. I had some emotional experience in my life, okay, wherein I was actually holding, it was the loss of a closed one, and I was holding it for 2.5 years, and actually, my productivity, my health, and everything. And Mansi has been one of the person who has really helped me, in coming out of this by telling me to go for meditation and do my journaling. She has been a very, very great, big support in this. So when I was actually when I started journaling, and when I thought, I have to first love myself, I have to come out of this very strongly. So I realized that there are times when you realize that okay, something was good for you, but now it doesn't have any significance. You need to let it go. Life has its own plan. So once we realize that, then I think we can live life joyfully based on loving ourselves most. Because if you are well, then obviously you can have a good environment around you, you can be strong in office, you can achieve your personal professional goals. So I think I could resonate very well so much with today's learning, and I have lot of takeaways. Like we all have areas of improvement, so I think I have lot of good takeaways to focus on present. And yes, let the past go out. So it was a wonderful read for me today.
Thanks, Shruti, for sharing that. Good to see that, we yourself have, let go and come out of situations. Do continue journaling as you were saying you do it. And, good to hear that, you could have takeaways also from this book. So thanks for your sharing.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to share?
Yeah. May I?
Please.
Deepa here.
Yeah, Deepa. Yeah, Deepa, go on. You are on mute.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Deepa here again. Just like how Shruti said, like many of us here, I do resonate with the reading, especially the trauma and the grief part, losing someone very close. My case, apart from losing many people during this past 5 years, my father leaving us was the most painful, and it is close to 2 years now. And I don't know if I'll ever be able to come in terms with he not being there, when I call him, and not meeting him, and he being there, not reassuring. People say that, I'm older, he was old, so it's okay to let go. But, it is not like that. We can't overcome that fear of loneliness just because someone is old or the person who has left is old. It's not like that. It's a very traumatic, at least for me. I don't know how long it will continue that way. Maybe I'm not ready to let go. The day I let go, maybe he'll truly die. So I want to cling on to the pain because as long as the pain is there, he's there. So I don't know how I'm processing it. But some lines here really resonated. I'd just like to read it. Trauma is what happens when something scares you and you do not get over the fear. Trauma is the experience of disconnecting from a fundamental feeling of safety. Many such lines I could resonate with today. Thank you.
Deepa ma'am, I would like to add into what you said. Okay. I agree, like parents' loss cannot be compensated for anything. But as I was sharing my experience, okay, so what I feel is, mother, for me, what worked, I'm just sharing, maybe it might work for you. So, we have some people who are mentors in our life, okay, and they said they take us on a different direction. And I'm sure you would have some kind of takeaways from uncle as well. So I feel maybe, doing those things that he wanted you to do or that he had for you, I think that would be one of the best gifts you can give to him. That's what I feel. But we all have different ways of handling the situation. So I'm sure you know it best.
Thank you, Shruti. Yeah, actually, yeah. Like certain things which he expected from me, certain dreams which he couldn't fulfill. Maybe that is the path I have taken up in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
I drive a car now. I swim, and I've taken a degree already, one degree, and another degree I'm moving on to academic degrees, and being part of this growing, reading group, a bigger circle of friends. So that is how my dad was. Every year he would learn something new, add on to his skills. So I was a little laid back on those areas. Now I think I'm more supercharged. Thank you for giving me that outlook, Shruti. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Wishing you best always.
Same with you, Shruti. I don't know what you were going through. So heal. There is always love around us, and everyone is just a call away. So I'm there for you. Everyone is with you. Thank you.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you.
Shall I share my understanding of the chapter?
Yes, sir. Please share.
I think this chapter gives us a lot of, my personal life experience that we should form a habit of let go. What I think we read this chapter, unrealistic expectations, clearing the path, and emotional trauma. So what, like, this is more of a chapter where superpower decides what we should have and what we should not have. So what we should not have, if we are clinging to that, superpower takes away that from us for our benefit. So maybe, accepting that situation will make us more happy, more enthusiastic, more living life. This is my understanding from reading this chapter, and I correlate this with my life experience. Whatever comes in our life is for our benefit. What is goes away from our life is for our benefit. Thank you.
Thanks, sir, for sharing your experience. Yeah, Milind, you wanted to share something, right?
Yes,
Please
yes.
go ahead.
Thanks, Manselvi. Yeah. First thing, I'll just talk something about what Deepaji just said. My mom and dad, they passed away in 2030. 20 means in 2 years. 2 years. This thing, 13 and 14. Yes, whenever our beloved and my teacher also after 5 years, those are very very close to me. They made me who I am today. So when what we really need to do, we need to check over the words which we use. Okay, like she explained that it is still pain in me. Yes, I used to feel in that way. It is not the pain which is within you in your body. It is actually your love for them. Okay, so I change my vocabulary. Okay, it is my love for them, and they have not gone anywhere. Okay, because we are actually energy being. That is what I have trained myself to think about. Okay, we are energy being. They are still with you, with me, because how we take our daily decision whenever you are ups and downs. Okay, whenever we ask for their advice, we always connect back to their what if they are in front of me, how they advise. And I have come out of many of such situation after they passed away. So they are always, as in Hindu philosophy they say, we just change the clothes. That way they are there in form of energy. Still I believe that the concept that yes, they become a star. It is from the movie Lion King. So I still love that concept. Yes, they are stars. They are guiding us. So they are they are nowhere. They are actually, and as Shruti and we all discussed, and you also this thing, that they are actually want us to be happy in each and every moment. So if I'm making myself more and more happy, then they are happy. That is what my this thing to them. All of my mom, dad, and my teacher, because that is how I brought up from my childhood. So whoever I am now at this moment in this life is because of these three, and many more. So feel gratitude about them. Then definitely there's be a pain, and these emotions which we say, like once we change our vocabulary, the words, the way we use, definitely those will go, and the new thing will come. That is a love for them. Okay, and start changing our vocabulary. Means in one of the reading session or in such session, that a lady says that, oh, I'm really afraid that my mom and dad will like pass away. So I'm really afraid. Every night I think about them. So everyone started bombarding, saying that, oh, now get yourself busy and all that. So we need to just see that why we are actually feeling that fear. Okay, it is not the fear, this thing, and you can get busy and get rid of those emotions, etc. No, basically everyone feels love about their parents. So it is not just working on that pain, it is just working on that love side of it. So which really I like. Just I'm sharing my experience on that one. Today's this particular reading is really I last how everyone agrees, and everyone read a lot about the past, get rid of past, and letting go. But again, I think Shruti also suggested, Mansi gave her some trainings and some daily habits and all that. It is something to be practiced daily kind of thing. And there are lots of techniques available. I urge you to use those techniques. Those looks very simple, like journaling, writing 2-3 statements a day. Still, you can start with that. But those simple techniques really do help. Like EFT technique, release technique, Sedona technique. And yesterday, in this week only, yesterday only, in NLP master course which I'm doing, I learned the technique of belief reprinting, and I really really love those techniques because those techniques helps. really. So start working on those, just 5 minutes a day, really, because these books touch you all those particular points, And a very last quick experience, after starting reading this book, I started applying there and there only on that particular day, to see the impact of reading this book. Yesterday, I got two big, big, very happy news, good news. One is my son cleared an interview very for very big company, so which is a big news. Again, I'm buying a house, so my process documentation process got clear. So two big news are with me, okay. And then I seen a photograph of my engineering my engineering group, and then I went into the past, and I was there for around in trance for 20 minutes. I was thinking about the past and all that, and I just tapped myself. That is how Tasneem explained last time, saying that why I'm thinking about those past experiences and all that, because currently there are two big news which I need to enjoy. So this is how this book is helping me actually, to be aware of the present moment and be happy for the good which is actually happening. And that is what the highlight for me today. Right things will come to you. You need to trust that. So I'm building that muscle of trusting life, that life is always good to you. And thank you very much for giving me the chance to speak. But this book is actually doing kind of magic to me. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Milinji, for giving so many pointers. Yes, the language is very, very important, and the way you are taking it in the future with you, the way you carry it forward is also important. Anyone else would like to add?
So I just want to add, I'm just today's reading was very profound. I loved it very much. It was very touching. And thank you, Mani Selvi, for holding this space and bringing in this book for us. And everyone for sharing so openly and creating this beautiful energy of shares and everything. And feel free to reach out to one another and contact, and it's a community of like-minded people, so feel free and make the most of it. So I just two three things that popped out for me. So once in relevance to the letting go, so there is this beautiful analogy. There is this monk story which I might have shared earlier, so I don't want to just repeat it again, but maybe one more, like which I remembered, which is like example of a satellite. So nothing in life is permanent, and even if we observe in nature, everything is bound to nature also teaches us detachment. So first we have to give in fully to grow and take everything in, and then experience everything and then grow, like just how it happens with the trees. But ultimately, even trees, for themselves to survive, they have to shed the leaves, so that the leaves don't take away that extra water or whatever that is required for the growth of the tree and for its survival. So that is one example. And the second example is of a satellite, where when a satellite goes on a higher and higher ultimatum, it has to leave out some of its parts and become lighter and lighter. Only then it can go higher. Otherwise, the same parts or the same fuel that it was needed in the initial phase did not help it when it goes up. Like the fire that was needed initially was only for the initial period, whereas when it goes up, it has to shed away some of the parts and everything, so that it becomes lighter and it can fly high. So I think that these things are very much in alignment, and that is what even life teaches us. So just remember them. And I do agree with the earlier part of the chapter also today, where we read about how everything, even if things don't work out for us, they are for our good, but we are just not understanding it at times. But maybe looking back, we see them and we understand, yes, this happened for good. It's only when we see back we understand this was meant to be for some reason, for a higher purpose or something. And I think but when we are in that situation, it's very difficult to accept it. Since we talked about loved ones, one thing what I feel and I believe, life is very fragile these days. I get to hear so many, like, yes, just 2 days back, one of my daughter's teacher expired out of blood cancer in a week's time. So she was her class teacher last year, and last year, and it was a shock. So nothing is not even young or old. Age is not a bar anymore, and life is fragile. So we have to make the most of every moment, and we have to actually be grateful for what we have. So I think that all got highlighted in the chapter also today. So yeah, that's all. That's all I just wanted to share. Thank you.
Mansi, still, could you tell that story? I love that story. I changed my story to that one, boat and monk, because that's really
I think
perfect.
it might be very repetitive. Okay, I'll just share it.
Yeah.
I'll try to share it in short. So basically, this is it's a very very beautiful story which I personally like. So maybe I keep repeating it. So there was this one monk who wanted to cross a river, and when he wanted to cross the river, he had taken a small boat with him, a one man boat kind of a thing, and he just the boat, bamboo boat, helps him to cross the river in all the currents and everything. And and because he's carrying that, the boat has become so much of a part of his life as an extension. He gets very attached to that boat. So as he gets out of the tide and everything, and he gets on the shore, he takes the boats on his back. It's a small boat, a one person boat, so he can easily hold it on his back, and he starts walking with it in the woods, in the trees which are very tightly placed. But when he tries to walk through the woods, it is very difficult for him to walk through the woods because the boat is becoming a hindrance for him now. So what happens? Finally, he realizes that unless and until I drop this boat behind, I will not be able to pass through the woods effortlessly. So then finally, he drops off the boat off his back, expresses his gratitude to the boat for whatever it brought him till whatever place it got him there, and then he starts walking alone, and that's where he is able to walk through the woods effortlessly. The whole essence of the story and the whole moral is basically what got you here may not be serving you in the later. Sometimes we get very attached with something, like maybe our designations or whatever things that have served us for a particular period of time, but it is actually only for that period it was meant to be with us, to take us through that phase of our life. It's relevant to people, it's relevant to so many other things, habits and so many things. But where if we want to go further, we may have to get detached from the same things that really served us and got us to a certain level to go further. So that's the whole moral of that story, and both applies to even the satellite analogy. So yeah, it's all around the letting go thing that we read today. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Mansi, for sharing those stories. Really, it is quite something which we can always fall back on and remember. Yeah. Milanji, you want to say something?
Yeah,
Please go
quick
ahead.
one, as
Yeah.
Mansi just explained it very nicely. Okay, very quick addition. I always give this is again, I give analogy to myself. Like river actually flows very smoothly. Okay, it makes noise only when rock is there. Okay, so what those rock is actually in our case, okay, all the old events or the past, disturbing past which we read in this or we know from our life. Okay, the past is basically all those events are based on two three things. One is your presence there, the person in front of you, then the time and space, the environment. So whenever I go into the past, okay, you always check those particular things. Like example, I used to be very close to my school, okay, because I was topper, so I really love my school and all those things. But now if I go now into the past, okay, all these four actually is all changed, all these factors are changed. Time is changed now, environment is changed, the school building is no more there, the people teachers are no more there. So once you remove this particular four factors from that event, okay, you will see that that event is not at all exist there. Okay, it is only our thought or our thinking process make it still live. Okay, and we still repeat those sufferings or those emotions again and again. Okay, so we need to remove those just by removing these factors actually from it. Again, in NLP it is submodalities and etc. But in simple, yeah, that is normally I do. If something is hurting in past, just go back and just remove this thing. So, people who hurt us, they are no more there, so why to think about them? But yeah, again, as I said last time or we are discussing here, we need to be very gentle and kind towards ourselves, because it may trigger our emotions and all that. So this is very very loving practice, and that's why I love the book The Mirror from Louise Hay, which we read at the beginning of, I think, last year or something. But yeah, those practices really do help. Thank you. Yeah. And as Mansi explained, yeah, if anyone need any books or any help and all that, we are always there to support, because I'm getting a lot from this group as I keep of sharing. But yeah, definitely, if someone needs any areas of support and all that, then definitely we are there to support. Yeah.
Yeah, Deepa.
Yeah,
Wanted to share
nothing,
something.
nothing. Yeah, nothing. I just wanted to congratulate Milanji on his son's, promotion and
Oh, that's awesome.
moving on with life, getting
I'm
that job assignment.
really happy because this
And
group
that's a
and this
promotion for
group
you
really.
also.
No, I'm
And
buying
you
new house,
making a new
so
home.
yeah,
So I'm
new
happy
home,
about
and
that.
yeah, so both the things, and I'm really grateful to this group because reading together, and everybody's adding their own views and all. It helps me a lot to make the life is very beautiful in that sense. Yeah, so yeah, thank you. Keep reading and keep sharing. Thank you very much.
And Mansi, lovely stories, beautiful stories. Thank you for sharing that. Maybe I'll use it in my YouTube thing. Thank you.
Yeah, please do. The first time I heard it from Jay Shetty. I don't know, and I think I have heard it from somewhere else also. So a little bit change here and there. Please feel free to use it. It might help someone who's listening.
Yes.
So thanks everyone for the active participation and your suggestions and your takeaways and your life lessons also. So with reference to what Deepa mentioned, basically, if I remember, there was a pranayama class and they had an exercise for us. One of the members had talked about grief and how the person could not overcome. So everybody was made to write all the list of names, whatever could be remembered, last 10 years who all passed away. Be it your relatives, be it your friends, whoever, just list down. And then take a moment after each that how did it change your life, right, today? How does it matter today? So basically that exercise made me realize that when it is a faraway relative, we might not be so very attached, and that will not even matter, or we might not even take that one moment. But when there is a very attached person, be it a family member, be it parents, be it anyone, be it a friend, the attachment, the love, the separation, the loss that we feel is more than the few seconds or minutes that we take for deliberation. As Deepa said, the pain that we carry still somewhere hurts. So the teacher also told us that see, in your experience you have lost so many people, still you are here. You are here and you have a purpose and things go on. So life will go on. Understand about it, and everybody has their own purpose in life. So their purpose or their time has ended, so will yours. So be mindful and just take lessons and go ahead, is what they concluded with. Another thing I remember about Madhya telling us once, that how he holds his mother's memory in. See, if you have to hold someone in memory, why don't you make it a empowering one? Why don't you remember good time spent with them rather than the regret or the feeling of hurt or pain that you carry? So what he suggested is, if you carry some memory around, you don't want to let go, fine, but then carry it in an empowered way, because only then it will drive you to do good. Like what Shruti was saying, and Deepa also agreed that you can bring the best part of them, remember that, and then try to do that, so that you are also living that way, the way you would have when they, if they would have been around. So everything has to be empowering, is what he says, that whatever you take and go ahead with has to be empowering, right? So this is what I wanted to share. This I got reminded when Deepa shared the experience. Just quickly wrapping up the takeaways from the reading today. Today, I think everything was, it's not about actually letting go, it's not about actually managing, it's about integrating in life. how do you integrate things into our life? Be the past, the present, or whatever is ongoing. How do you integrate? Because we may not be able to just a slice of things, but how are you integrating? How are you holding it? How are you carrying it? And how are you carrying it forward, right? If you can let go, let go. Because the book says that let going also can be difficult at times. So give a time and space. But there are ways, if you want, it's burdensome, that you can let go easily, like things that were suggested. But yes, there will be something, because we being human, we will have that tendency of not being able to easily let go. And if you let go, then how do you let go? Is actually you integrate that whatever hurt, pain, and turn it into a better thing into life. Because we actually can't let go everything, if you say. Yeah, so that is one thing. Then also the author says that try to get the clarity. You would have experienced that when you were not mature, when you were not clear-headed, when you were not having the clarity of what the reality is. So get that clarity, process it, and move on. So basically, instead of avoiding anything, you process it, you look it into the eye, and then close the case in your head, and then just move on. That is how I think the author is suggesting. In today's world, with so many distractions, we tend to avoid anything which arise some kind of a fear, some kind of a trauma, some kind of a sensitivity within us. So the author says that instead of avoiding it, face it. Face it in your own way, in your own time. I think that is what is more important. And definitely author says it's not easy. So that is how life is. It's not easy. It is not fair. And and if unassuming, we keep on moving, right? Many people left us in last 10 years, and still we keep on. COVID was something which was such a huge thing, which we never thought we could overcome and cross over. But we have crossed over and come to such great times today, right? And let's not get distracted from the real problem, right? So we will maybe we are lacking the empowering support within ourselves of safety, of strength, of having confidence, of not fearing and feel supported by people. So we'll have to create those things for ourselves if we feel there is a lack. And as in debates, normally what people, if you see closely, if you see that some people are not accepting their views that are being debated on, the person shifts the gaze to the people who are acknowledging his views, accepting his views, so that he can continue with his what he is wanting to debate on. So that's how is in life. You look at the brighter side and move on. And that's how I think you can be here, and you can be in now, and you can be you. There is no shame in owning up that you are you, and that's all with all the imperfections. And beautifully, what the author says, that nature does everything in imperfection. There is no perfection in nature, and it doesn't allow also. Adukya sir also touched upon that life has its own lessons. Let's learn and take away and flow with it rather than being stuck. And somewhere we try to overcompensate. Let's not do that. Let's find a better coping mechanism, better capable mechanisms to work with, so that we see a brighter side and much more better version of ourselves that we evolve into. So thanks everyone. I think it's quite late today. If anybody else want to add anything here? Okay, then can we call it a day?
Yes, thank you.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank
Maniselvi,
you,
for
everyone.
beautiful
Thank you.
summary. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Maniselvi, as always. Thank you for that
Yeah,
beautiful
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Maniselvi. Thank you, Mansi, Milinji. Thank you all.
Thank you.